And welcome back to Subculture After Dark. Well, of course, we have been playing new tracks from All This Filth for the last couple of months now, and of course, now the new album, Tomorrow Will Be Better, is out right now. So we thought tonight we would actually get two members from the band on the phone right now to chat a little bit about this amazing new album. Welcome to the program, Brendan and Brock.
Thanks for having us, Dave.
No worries.
Thanks, Dave.
Now, guys, first of all, I want to say congratulations on this album. I've been listening to it the last couple of days, and it's an absolutely amazing album, so congratulations.
Cheers, Dave.
So, Brendan, tell us a little bit about this album, about the planning that went into it. What kind of things were you guys talking about when you first sat down to start working on this album?
Well, it was it sort of organically turned into a continuation from the last album. It sort of picked up exactly where the last album left off, thematically speaking anyways. I felt like I had a few things left over to say from the last album, so we wrote the song Skyline, which probably could have been on the last album, and that was sort of finishing things off. And the intro to this album literally starts with the sample from the last album, the last song from the last album, which is I Am the Fortress, and goes into a car crash. And basically, the last album was sort of telling the story of misery season, which is when hard times come and they go, much like seasons come and go. So that was sort of inadvertently a concept album based on that from start to finish of that time in my life. And then we got to the start of this album, and it was kind of like, well, we've got through this version of misery season. We've got through this many trials and tribulations and problems and such. And basically this album starts off with like, well, we've got through that, but where do we go from here? What happens now? Because the world's still messed up. It's still fucked up. There's still a lot of bad stuff going on. I'm still battling a lot of demons inside as well. So when you've got so many problems on the outside and so many problems on the inside, and you've got through a hard time, where do you go from here? And so that's kind of where the album starts off, and it just, kicks off from there.
Brock, Brendan writes from such a personal place. You can hear that in his lyrics when you listen to these tracks. What's that like for you as one of his bandmates when you first read new lyrics or new songs from him? Like I said, they're so personal. Does it come as a surprise to you sometimes when you sit down and read his new lyrics?
No, there's a lot that Brendan writes about that resonates with me also. So a lot can be related to for sure. So fundamentally, we play a style of music that I thoroughly enjoy, and as I said, resonate with. So proud of Brendan's lyric writing, and definitely support the kind of the lyrical themes that he brings forward in the songs.
Definitely. Brendan, for you, what's that process like? Do you find it cathartic to be able to sit down and write exactly what's on your mind like that?
Yeah, I think it's catharsis is exactly how I would describe it. I think that for us, and I've always set out to write from a personal point of view that's true to me, and this is just my story and how I'm feeling, and hopefully other people can relate to that. I mean, there's bands out there that, especially in metal, they do the fantasy thing, whether it be pirate metal or, Viking metal or whatever, and that's great and that's awesome, and people tell those sort of stories and can get into that as well. There's no disrespect there, but for me, I think it's sort of almost a compulsion that I have to this is stuff that I just have to get out of me. I have to vent and just tell it how I'm seeing it at that point in time. So yeah, it's sort of something I just have to do, and that's why I keep doing it. It's not an easy thing to do because you've got to really look deep within yourself, and a lot of the time we're out there, we're singing songs that are very personal, and it's, dredging that stuff stuff up night after night on stage is not always easy, but I hope it genuinely connects with people out there, whether it makes them feel less alone or just they can connect and get something positive out of it in some way, because that's what I set out to do, take all the negativity that I'm feeling and I'm seeing, put it onto tape, to CD, to digital, whatever, just get the songs out there, and hopefully someone can connect with that, get on the same frequency or just vibe with it, with the energy, and whether it be through the music or the lyrics, as long as they're connecting one way or another, that's what I hope people get from it, something positive out of the negative.
I was going to ask that, Brendan. Do you get a lot of people come up to you and talk about your lyrics and say that you've got them through a tough time, or that they're going through what you've been through at that time and things like that?
Yeah, a lot actually, and it's really satisfying, and also daunting as well in a sense, because I feel like sometimes there's a lot of pressure from Misery Season and to this album to sort of it's not like I'm carrying these people, I'm not, but like sometimes I feel that like there's responsibility, because there was no pressure before that, and now I feel that there's a responsibility to keep telling those stories and keep just saying it is like it is from my point of view. So it's good, but it is really nice when people come up and say really nice things about how they've connected with either, like I said, the music or the lyrics, and it's got them through a hard day or a hard time in their life. And it's really gratifying, because that's what I set out to do.
Brock, one of the things that a lot of people talk about with the band is the fact that it's very hard to pigeonhole the band into one genre, and I see that as a good thing. But what kind of things did you talk about this time around with the album that you wanted to experiment with sound-wise?
Yeah, so as it would happen, I'm actually not featured on the previous album, because I came in as part of the new lineup last year, but I can comment a little bit about kind of the mix of subgenres we have. I agree. I think it is a good thing. I think having a bit of a mixture of everything is it's good to mix it up. It's good to keep it fresh, and it's interesting to explore new boundaries. And I certainly feel that is what All This Filth had achieved and have achieved on this previous album. There's a mix of a lot of different subgenres in there, and it keeps that album fresh and interesting to listen to.
Definitely. Brendan, of course, the other big thing that happened as well was signing with a brand new label. Tell us a little bit about how that came about and what that's meant for the band as well.
Well, we'd finished recording the album and we were just having it mixed and mastered, and our previous releases, whether it be our first album in 2011, 11 Past, and the EP Program to Suffer, and the album Misery Season in 2019, had all been sort of self-released. I mean, Misery Season was on Rock Pit Records as well, but we wanted to sort of step it up and get some distribution into territories that we hadn't had a lot of representation in. I mean, like through social media, we'd made some inroads into overseas territories, South America, North America, Europe, etc., etc., but we wanted more of a presence in those areas, so we were looking for a label. And yeah, we sent the album out to a bunch of labels, got a whole bunch of no's, as this, the entertainment industry is renowned for, and then eventually found this label that was looking to help us out. And yeah, I mean, it was really just that simple. We found someone who wanted to help us out and get the album out there, and we signed with them, and hopefully it goes well. So far, so good, but time will tell, how well the partnership goes. But yeah, so far it's going okay.
Exactly, I was going to ask that. Like you mentioned about wanting to branch out into new territories. What have you guys now got planned for 2024?
Well, hopefully more touring, bigger shows, etc., etc. We just did a launch show last Friday locally here in Perth at the Rosemount Hotel, which went really well. Great vibe, great bands, all night was great. And our fans, we call them the ATF crew, came out in force and represented in the pit, and just we felt the vibe from them. The energy from the crowd was electric. So it was a great show at a great venue, and it was a good way to sort of celebrate the release of the album, which was actually a couple of weeks beforehand, but it was good because people knew some of the new songs that we put into the set, so we had a new set list. Excited to play the new songs. So yeah, I mean, we're looking to get to the East Coast again, because we just did in January. We were over in Queensland for a couple shows, which were fantastic. And late November last year, we were over in Victoria for Killfest and a couple shows supporting that. And that was also fantastic, just in a different way. And so, yeah, this year we're looking to get over East. So any promoters over East and overseas, in fact, who wanna work with us, hit us up. We're in talks with a few people now, and yeah, we can't announce anything yet, but we're definitely going to make that happen at some point. It's just that the logistics, being here in Perth, Western Australia, one of the most isolated cities in the world, well, the most isolated capital city in the world, it's very expensive to tour, very, very expensive. So when we go, we really need to plan it well and make it worth our while. It's not as easy as just running up and down the East Coast. So, yeah, we're looking to do that, and we've got some irons in the fire, so to speak, and we can't announce anything yet, but we're hopefully getting to the East Coast in the next, little while.
Awesome. Brock, I was going to ask, what did that mean for you to have the album launch go so well? Of course, there was a lot of people eagerly anticipating this album, and the singles had been received really well, but how big of a relief was that for you, doing that album launch and it going so well?
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, obviously coming into the band, you feel a strong sense of duty to ensure that you are playing those songs exactly as how they were, intended when the boys wrote them. So, there's a little bit of I suppose nervousness and maybe a little bit of anxiety there, that you want to do the best job you can possibly do for them. But we were well practiced, and coming off those tours that Brendan mentioned, we're definitely right in a groove, and the recent lineup change is really working well together. So, yeah, it went as well as we could have expected it to. It was a great venue, great front of house sound, pretty good mix on stage, and we just did what we did, and yeah, it was great.
Awesome. Well, guys, we are going to play Dark Hearts, Dead Minds on our show again right now. So what would you both like to say to people out there, not only before they take a listen to this amazing track, but before they go out and listen to the album as well?
I personally would just like to thank all of our fans for all the support over the years, and anyone who's supported us, whether it be media, fans, whoever. We'd just like to thank everyone for the support, and for those of you who haven't heard us before, give us a try, and hopefully you can get down with what we're doing. And if we come to your town, like if we're on tour, definitely come check us out. Come to the merch stand, say hi. We're friendly guys, and yeah, I mean, if we make new fans, welcome to the ATF crew, but thanks for all the support so far.
Definitely. Brock, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
Oh, much the same, echoing Brendan's comments, really. Enjoy, guys, and appreciate the support, and look forward to seeing you out there somewhere.